What's going on, everybody? No BS Wednesday. Honestly, I'm tired today, guys. I really am tired. It's been a long day, but this gets me so excited every single week. Is Wednesdays in general. I have what's up, Laura. I have No BS Wednesdays, and then also this is the night that David Bailiff and myself record for our podcast. So it's Wednesdays are typically a long day, but they're so much fun. So I look forward to this each week. Amy, thanks for watching. Laura, thank you for watching. I'm gonna wait just a few minutes to wait for people to come on, and then we're gonna get rolling. But tonight, I'm gonna talk about creating a true concierge model for your practice. So I really want people to hear this one and take this to heart and see if it can be applied to your own practices. So let's just wait here, see if anybody else comes on, and then we'll get rolling. Amy, Laura, I talked to you earlier. I know you're doing good. Amy, how are you doing? Let me know in the comments section. Want to make sure this comment section's working too, because sometimes on my phone it acts a little funky. All right. All right. Well, that's fun. All right, let's go ahead and get rolling here. So we are going to talk about creating the kind of the ultimate concierge style of practice and why it's important for a concierge practice. So I want to share with you guys first that that basically what concierge means. And so you could go to the internet right now and search concierge and in the dictionary. And I've got the dictionary definition pulled up for you guys. So the dictionary definition of concierge, the first one that pops up is a person who is in charge of the entrance of a building and is often the owner's representative or the doorkeeper. There's ones about and hotel staff, all of this stuff. But then if you get to an adjective, this is in the actual dictionary. The adjective of concierge, so like a concierge physical therapy practice, a concierge physician, concierge medicine, means pertaining to or being medical care for which the patient pays the doctor an annual fee for special or extra services. So I'm going to say that again. The adjective version of what concierge means when it applies to our practices, it means pertaining to or being medical care for which the patient pays the doctor an annual fee for special or extra services. So a true concierge model is signing up for an annual fee. In my practice, I do it monthly, and that's what I'm going to talk about a little bit tonight and share with you guys more about that and how you can apply it to your own practice models. But a true concierge practice is an annual fee. And so that could be worked in a number of ways. If your patients are seeing you on an annual basis, or if you're having them buy into an annual plan of care, this is much different than other plans of cares and other ways that people in physical therapy are doing things. But I truly believe, and there's a lot of people out there that believe, that physical therapy is trending this direction because we need to be able to see a patient longer, and we need to maybe kind of blend physical therapy and wellness a little bit more to give optimal results to a patient. If you guys agree with that, go ahead and put a yes in the comments. Let me know. Put a yes in the comments if you agree with that. Us as physical therapists, we've got to maybe start transitioning to a plan of care where we can maybe offer a little bit more to our patient, especially with the style of practice that we all have, or that maybe you aspire to have. So a concierge practice, for those of you that are just jumping on, a concierge practice basically means pertaining to or being medical care for which the patient pays the doctor an annual fee for special or extra services. Okay? So we're going to talk about how you can basically do that in your own practice. Jeff, you concur. Amy, you agree. Perfect. All right. So basically the way that I do this in my own practice is through continuity programs and packages. But with my patients, it's basically understood that my programs are 12 months long for the patients that are good fits for those programs. Okay? So it's not for everyone. It's not for everyone that gets in contact with me. I'm signing them up for 12-month programs. Absolutely not. Like, not every patient's going to be right for that. So not every patient's going to be right for a concierge practice as well. So I want you to understand that point as well. First, before we dive into this, is being a concierge practice, not everyone is going to be the perfect fit for your practice. That's why it's so important to have a niche, to have an avatar that you see, that you dial your practice into, because that's what makes your practice special, and that's what makes your practice unique to that select group of clients. But it can, like, a concierge practice is going to have a difficult time thriving if you kind of see anybody and everyone that can come through your doors. That can work at first, but then long-term results of your company, it's not going to last. So we've got to be able to find a niche that we can kind of settle ourselves into to have a truly effective concierge practice. So I want to tell you guys how I've done it into my practice. And I'm going to give you guys a sneak peek, all right? I'm actually reading this out of my book. This is like the editor's copy. I'm making sure everything is good before my book is launched. So I talk about continuity programs in here. And so in this book, I basically kind of talk about my process for patients. And I want to tell you guys that basically what I go through in order to get a patient onto a continuity program and how I feel it should be done. Because honestly, in my experience, you're not going to have patients just come into your door and you're just immediately going to say, hey, guess what? I want to sign you up for a 12-month plan of care. It doesn't matter how good of a salesman or saleswoman you are. That's going to be a difficult play, right? So what I do in my practice is I actually have a system set up to where I will get a new evaluation, and the goal is to fix, I call them quick fix, because most patients come to you wanting a quick fix, right? What's up, John? Good to see you on here. Most patients come to you wanting that quick fix. So we set up a cash plan of care for them, say, okay, this is the X amount of visits that I believe is going to take to get to you to where you need to be. We follow through with that plan of care, and I call that period basically just the relationship period. So we've got a new patient, and then they go into, as you're following through on your plan of care, I call that the relationship period. So we're building a relationship in that period with that patient. And then as, over time, as you get to learn more about them, as you get to learn the type of progress they're making, then we transition to, are they or are they not a good fit for a concierge model? Basically, what you're asking yourself as you're working with those patients is, do they need the continued help? Do they need the continued discipline that a concierge practice can provide? Do they need to have that accountability on a regular basis? Like, these are all things that you can gather from a patient from developing a relationship with them, right? So we develop the relationship, then we get to a point after that plan of care, after, let's say they came to you with a knee injury and they're feeling better now. All right, if you feel like they're a good fit for a concierge practice, that's when I bring up the conversation of my concierge models, or my continuity models is what I call them. And so my continuity models are designed two ways. Number one is for the patient that I've been working with for their plan of care, and it's in and out. Okay, hopefully you guys can hear me. Russell says that I'm a little bit in and out, but I hope you guys can hear me. But there's one type of patient that you've seen good results with, but maybe that they can do the exercises on their own. They've basically shown you the discipline that they can do it on their own, and that you know that they can do it on their own going forward with a strength program. So I give them the option of, this is a good question. I'm going to answer that in a second, Jeff. So basically, we're trying to figure out who is the right fit for these programs. So my first program is a once-a-month program where they see me on a once-a-month basis for an in-person visit. And I'll go and tell you guys, it's $125 per month. They pay me $125 per month for a year. And it's basically a check-in visit where I will actually go to their home. We'll sit down and say, all right, John, what have we been doing? What's worked? What hasn't? How can we improve it to continue to make progress? I'll actually make a calendar for my patients and say, all right, John, this is one of my patients on a continuity program, so I'm acting like I'm talking to him. John, what days are best for you during the week to get your workout in or to work on your strengthening of your shoulder? Okay, Tuesdays and Thursdays, perfect. I make them calendars and say, all right, Tuesday, Thursday, every Tuesday, Thursday, until I see you next. This is exactly what I want to do, and create a customized program to them. And then I'll help them through whatever needed in that visit, but it's just one kind of check-in visit per month. And that is for those patients that I truly feel like have the dedication, have the motivation, have the discipline to get it done, right? And then my bigger package, my larger package is for those patients that I've decided, because I see busy executives and busy professionals in my practice. I chose this type of model because I found that there were guys and gals that wanted extreme accountability, that wanted extreme amounts of discipline, and for people that they wanted me to be there telling them what they need to do step by step by step. So I basically made a year-long program that they can see me for up to 8 visits per month. So really twice a week if they'd like to. Up to 8 visits per month. That's how much they get. And that is obviously a much larger fee. That's my package. That is $1,000 a month. And that's for those people that really want the accountability, really want the discipline, know they need to make a change in their life, and that it's going to take more than just a few physical therapy visits to fix it. So I tell a lot of people, I'm a blend of a physical therapist and a strength coach. I'm a blend of a physical therapist and a strength coach because when we finish with the physical therapy side of things, I'm going to transition you into sessions that are going to look like a personal training session. And that's exactly what I tell my patients. And so basically I put them in these 2 categories. If they're disciplined, they're going in option 1, and I'll tell them about continuity program 1. I don't tell them about both. And if they're not disciplined, I'll bring them into continuity program 2. And so I know some of you may be asking, well, what if they only want to see you once a week? So I do have about 4 people on my schedule right now that I see on a once a week package right now. And so I do give that option to people as well. So I do, those are my 2 main options, but then I customize my options for the patient that's sitting in front of me. Obviously, because that's what we want to do. We want to have a customized, tailored program to them. So if a patient is seeing me once a week on a monthly basis, then in my practice, they pay me $500 a month. So I'm giving you guys these numbers just so that you can understand more about the model and more about how it works. But I want to tell you guys one thing. It's worked out incredibly great in my practice. And for 3 reasons. And these are the exact 3 reasons that I tell my patients why I've switched to this continuity plan with patients. 3 reasons. Number 1, and again, I tell these patients in person when I'm seeing them, like if they ask me, hey, like why are we doing it monthly now? Like at first we were just doing per visit. Why are we doing monthly? For 3 reasons. Number 1, I've seen when patients pay me over the long term on a monthly basis, number 1 is there's better compliance. I've seen better compliance in visits. When you pay up front for your visit, you basically have skin in the game. Like you're not going to make up an excuse to not do that visit. Like when you have skin in the game, you're actually going to carry out that visit or be more likely to carry out that visit. So there's better compliance. And then number 2, because of that better compliance, I've seen even better results with my patients that have signed up for these continuity programs. So, and that's the dead truth. Like, I wouldn't be telling my patients a lie. Like, I have seen better results since I've switched to this because I am actually helping people to buy into their health over the long term. And that's what I want you guys to understand. You're not being money hungry. You're not being greedy. You're not like trying to like be a sneaky salesman and pull a smooth one on them. Like, get those out of your mind. You're helping someone to invest in their health over the long term. And if you are able to do that, that is an incredible feeling as a physical therapist. You know, why should personal trainers be the only ones that have long-term success with their patients? Why can't physical therapists do it too? That's one of the reasons why I'm so passionate about a concierge model. It's because I want more physical therapists to understand that this is a different way and a whole different new way that we can practice and have a lot of autonomy and happiness in our practice, because we will actually have the ability to work with people on a longer term basis. Okay? So 3 reasons. I didn't finish my third reasons. Number 1, better compliance. Number 2, better results. Number 3, and I do actually tell patients this because I think it's important for people to see the realness of you, is I will tell them, look, it's a better business model and it creates more predictability in my practice for my family and I. I've got a newborn son at home, and my practice, the only way that I've been able to get more stability in my practice is by switching to continuity programs. And I have not had a single patient yet that has ever had anything bad to say about that. Not a single one, because they know that when I'm saying it, I'm not like a dirty salesman. I'm telling them, like, look, that's the third reason, but that's my personal reason. Like, it creates more structure in my business. It's a better business model, and it helps my family and I. Because we all know that our practices do this, and that's including a concierge practice. That's including a brick and mortar practice. It's constantly this. And us as physical therapists are constantly fearing, when is that next downtime? Oh man, Thanksgiving and Christmas is around the corner. I know I know my visits are gonna go way down. That means my income's gonna go way down. What do I do owning my own practice? How do I get through the holidays with minimal income? Like, I can't tell you guys how real that is for a lot of practice owners. And we, as concierge physical therapists, have the ability to actually erase that doubt by having people sign up for these continuity programs. So it's not only helping the patient, because that's number 1, but it's helping you as well and create actually a stable practice. All right, so 3 reasons: better compliance, better results, better stability in my practice. Okay? Those are kind of the 3 reasons that I do tell patients why I'm doing what I'm doing. But so this is the beauty of a concierge practice, is we can get very, very creative with how we would like to do a continuity program. Continuity programs can be done online, or even on a phone call, but I always kind of like the face-to-face. So you could do a monthly program where you see people on a once-a-month basis, just basically as a maintenance program, to basically maintain their body and continue to make progress. That's the easiest way to start it in your practice. The second way is to come up with more long-term solutions in your practice. So whether that's a once-a-week kind of concierge model, whether that's a twice-a-week concierge model, this is all depending on who you see. So that's what I want you guys to get in this second part of this live, is you have to really figure out, who is it that you're seeing, who is it that is going to be signing up for these types of models, and then design a model that they are going to want. Design a model that they're actually going to get excited about, okay? So let me explain my twice-a-week model. When I said that, some of you were probably like, oh my gosh, that's expensive. If that was you, like, put expensive in the comment section. And I want to just know, like, who thought when I first said that, like, oh my gosh, like, that's real. I know that I still think it's, it is expensive, but I want to tell you guys why it works for my practice. It's worked for my practice because basically a year into this whole thing, I found out from my patients some of the top notch patients that I was seeing that they wanted to feel basically like they had a personal physical therapist. John, I'll answer that. I actually answered that in the beginning, but I'll answer that. I'll answer that again. But one of the reasons that I switched to this was because I had people that I was seeing that wanted to basically feel like they had a personal physical therapist that would help them through anything that came up. Almost like lots of my patients do see me as kind of like a direct care provider. They will call me before their doctor, but luckily I have really good relationships with their doctor, and I'll even call their doc and say, hey, John's calling me about this. What do you think about this? So I've got good relationships with their docs as well, which is good. But I was basically finding out that I had patients that wanted a more exclusive service. And I know that's the type of patient that I see, but they wanted this exclusive service where they knew they could call me and I was going to open up my schedule for them as needed. I've got a guy that flies all over the entire world for his business. When he flies home to Denver, there are times he touches down in Denver at 3 p.m. or so, and he's like, Josh, I gotta see you. Any chance I could see you tonight? And if I've got an opening, or if I have to make an opening, I'll go see him at 5 p.m. that night. But usually, he's lenient enough that maybe I can get a visit in with him in the morning. But he wanted an exclusive service that he knew that would help him to continue to keep him on his game and continue to help him continue to thrive. He wanted that, and all I did was just give it to him and present it to him and say, hey, look, this is how I'm transitioning my practice. I'm going to have 10 select clients, so you will know that I will only have 9 other select clients besides yourself. 10 select clients that I'm looking to have sign up for this basically concierge model in my practice, where you can see me for up to 8 visits per month for $1,000 a month, and I'm looking to have 10 select clients sign up for that. I can't even tell you guys how many patients of mine that were interested in that because it was exclusive. It was like this cool new thing, and they were like, oh my gosh, this is cool. Of course they saw the value in it, but they knew that it could help them. They knew that it was different than a lot of other things out there, and they wanted to be a part of it. Okay? So that's important to think of. John asked, are they being automatically billed month to month or paying all up front for the continuity program? So they're being billed month to month, John. They basically are billed the first of every single month for their visits for the month. And then somebody else asked a question. Jeff asked, what are some feeler questions you asked during the plan of care to set up that discharge to continuity maintenance program? One thing I want to address immediately on that, Jeff. And please, guys, in the comments, let me know any thoughts. I know this is a lot. I'm trying to get as much as I can because this is a big subject. This is a really big subject. I could talk about this for probably 5 hours. But I want you guys to understand that us as physical therapists need to probably stop using the word discharge if you're going to have a thriving cash-based practice. So even if you're in a brick and mortar or if it's concierge, DCing a patient was designed for insurance. Discharging a patient was designed for insurance because insurance dictates care in our country. So insurance will give you 8 visits for your knee injury, and then you need to discharge your patient and show insurance that he was discharged on this date, right? So insurance has basically dictated our plans of care and made us think we've got to discharge every patient that we see, but that's not the case. We actually should, in most cases, have a continuity program that a patient can go into after their care to continue to have ultimate long-term results. And if we're not doing that, we're actually doing our patients a disservice. Because I want to say something that I've been saying a lot lately is, man, if you want to tell me that a patient is good for the rest of their life after 8 visits to physical therapy, I'm here to tell you that I don't think that's true. Like, if somebody sees you for a back injury and they see you for 8 visits in physical therapy, which is a typical plan of care, and you think that you just solved all their problems and they're going off and they're never going to have that problem for the rest of their life. That's not the case. Like, we need more strengthening to help a patient to actually not have problems in the future. And so that's why I'm so passionate about melding physical therapy and then that strength training portion afterwards. Whether you've got your CSCS or not, who cares about that? I don't have my CSCS. I just know how to train people. I know how to get them stronger. And I know most of you guys do too. So first, to your question, Jeff, let's stop the word discharge and move on to how can we continue to help them afterwards, especially in a concierge practice. But I want to answer your original question before I went on that tangent, and it's, what are some feeler questions? So, there's multiple parts to this, Jeff. It's all good. I didn't mean to pick on you, Jeff. I'm just you just got me rolling on that. It was a good point to put out there anyway. But feeler questions. So basically, as they're going through their plan of care, want to figure out, like I said, how disciplined they are, how they're able to do exercises on their own with your HEP and all of that stuff. But the key is figuring out what they truly want. What is it? What is the emotional reason for why they're seeing you? What is it that they want to get back to? What is it that they're missing out on in their life? What is that thing? Are they missing out on, just being able to go coach their kids' soccer team? Are they missing out on being able to hit the slopes and go skiing with their family during the holidays? Are they missing out on being able to play, throw the football around in the yard during Thanksgiving time? These are very specific examples, I realize that, but I'm just helping you guys to understand. We want to figure out what is, over the course of their care, that first plan of care, what is that reason? Why are they truly seeing you? And if you don't know, you've got to maybe ask a little bit more. Like, hey, we've done 4 visits together. You've made some awesome progress, John. Or I'll use Jeff as an example. Jeff, you've made some awesome progress, but what is it that you truly want? Like, what is it that you're really like gunning for? What is your big goals? Like, what is the main reason why you searched me out as a physical therapist to help you? What are you trying to get back to? What are you missing out on by having this injury? Like, ask those types of questions. We want to figure that out. And then afterwards, using that question, we basically have everything that we need in the palm of our hand to basically say, Jeff, let's use, the grandkids example. You want to be able to take your grandkids to the park. I know, Jeff, you're a young guy, so I know you're nowhere near that stage, but I'm just using your name as an example. So, Jeff, look, we've finished your plan of care. I know originally I said that we would do 8 visits, and you've made a lot of progress. Your back pain's pretty much gone, right? You've made a lot of progress, but I know that when we first started together, I told you that I have a concierge practice. Included in that practice is I think it's really, really important for my patients to continue care so that these problems don't come up in the end. Like, don't continue to get worse. And I always tell people, I don't want you to have to come back to me 2 years from now with the same problem. And I'm sure you guys say that kind of stuff to your patients as well. But this is basically saying, look, like, this is going to take more time to strengthen and to strengthen your back and get you to a point that your back is basically bulletproof. And I do use that word a lot, that your back is bulletproof. Like, in order to do that, we've got to load you. We've got to get you deadlifting. We've got to get you, good squat mechanics. Like, I want you to not have this problem in the future. I have a continuation program set up. And from our plan of care, I've kind of seen, Jeff, you're pretty good at doing your exercises. You're pretty good at following up. Every time I see you, you've always continued with the same stuff and you're doing the right things. I honestly feel like my once a month program would be an awesome fit for you to continue to hit those goals. I want you to be able to spend more time with your grandkids and take them to the park without worrying about picking one of them up and blowing out your back. So I think a once a month continuation program would be really, really beneficial to you. My program's $125 a month. Like, I think this is what you need in order to prevent that from happening in the future. How does that sound? So that's kind of how I would talk to a patient. But the one feeler question that we've got to figure out, Jeff, is what is that true emotional reason for why that patient is seeing you? What is the deep down reason for why they're doing that? What do they want to get back to? All right, so that I hope that helps. All right, I lost my train of thought a little bit, but continuity programs. So I told you guys about my process a little bit. So we get that new patient referral. We go into basically building a relationship with them. Then we decide, were they just a quick fix patient, or are they appropriate for one of my options in my concierge practice, one of my continuity programs? Okay? And if you do see them for a quick fix, for an orthopedic injury, we're constantly kind of reassessing how they're doing, how they're progressing, how they're making progress. And if you feel like they're to a point that they've made great progress and they can fit into a continuity program to continue with their care, that's when you say it to them. So you don't necessarily have to finish their plan of care. Let's say you've seen somebody for 8 visits and originally you said it was going to be about 2 times a week for 5 weeks to solve their issue. You get to 8 visits, they're paying per visit. Say, look, you're no longer in back pain, but the next step is to continue to strengthen and to continue to strengthen on a long-term basis to make sure that this problem doesn't come back in the future. So this is where, for the 6 of you watching, this is where having a process in your practice is so incredibly important. And Jeff, I know you've got this because you're in my coaching group, but I have 3 different steps in my practice. Step 1 is mobility. Step 2 is stability. Step 3 is strength. So typically, when they're going through their plan of care, they're getting through step 1 and they're getting through step 2. And then they're signing up for a concierge program or a continuity program on that 3rd step when we get to strength. Because strength sessions, this one right here, strength sessions should look more like a personal training session, no longer like a physical therapy session. So no longer having to do a bunch of manual therapy on them on the table, because we've covered that in those first 2 steps. We've gotten them mobile, we've stabilized the joint, and now we're strengthening around that joint. We're strengthening kind of the full body if needed, right? So in that strengthening portion, that is where I feel like we can transition patients to a true concierge model or a continuity program. Does that make sense to you guys that are on? Let me know in the comments. Let me know any questions that you have. Like I said, this is probably like a 5-hour topic that I'm trying to bunch into about 45 minutes. So please, guys, let me know any questions down in the comment section. Let me know if it makes sense. Let me know if you feel like you can apply it to your own practice. And I'll just wait here for questions. How about that? What's up, Shannon? Thank you for watching. Shannon or Kristen, what's up? Do any of you guys have any questions in regards to setting up a concierge model or a continuity model in your own practice? Let me know and let's talk about it. I've got about 20 minutes before I podcast, so let's chat about it. Let me know any questions that you guys may have. Hopefully, I'm seeing everybody's questions. Let's see. I'm going to pull it up on my computer just to make sure, because the phone likes to act a little bit funky. But so far, no questions. Let's see. No questions at all, guys? You guys have got to have some specific questions about how you can apply it to your own practice. All right, here we go. All right, Kristen, I'll answer your question first. So I caught the end, so you may have missed, but what do you charge for your once-a-month visits? So I charge $125 a month for the once-a-month visits. My regular per visit rate is $175 per visit. So I charge $125 per month to sign up for the continuity program, and they pay that at the beginning of each month on a kind of like an automatic retainer through Square. Then we set up a monthly visit to continue to make progress with them. Jeff asked, do you do less than 2 times a week for the undisciplined group? Less than 2 times a week, yes. So that's what I was saying. I do customize programs to patients that maybe can't do twice a week, or that once a week might be a better option for them. So I do have one more package that I only tell patients that I feel like is the best option for them, and it's basically $500 a month to be seen once a week. So I hope that answers that. Lindsay, you said, I missed the beginning and then you were cutting in and out. I heard that it's $125 a month for your continuity program. What does this get for your patient client? Okay, so yeah, the $125 a month, Lindsay, gets them 1 visit per month. And then continue to access to me throughout the month. If they've got a question that they want to text me or email me, of course, I'm always going to be there for them. That's what a concierge style practice is, right? So they get a one in-person visit with me per month for that $125 per month. And then Kristen, you said, same question as Lindsay. Do you include a strength plan so that they can do when you're not there too? Yes. So obviously I wasn't clear enough with that. So when I was talking about that, Kristen, earlier, I'll create a calendar for my patient, and I'll actually create it with them while I'm there. I'll create a calendar with my patient and then create a strength training program for them to continue with, and say, okay, what is the best day during the week for you to do these workouts? Okay, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. And then I'll plan out their schedule for them, and I'll give it to them, and I'll say, all right, follow this schedule until we meet for our next visit, and then I give them a full strength training plan too. Now we got a lot of questions. So say a patient quits the continuity program but continues to keep asking you questions. How do you handle that? That's a good question, Lindsay. I don't think I've ever had that happen before. I've never had that happen before. Honestly, if they're going to quit but then continue to want my knowledge or my expertise, basically they want to continue working with me but not paying, unfortunately, it's not good business. So I think I would probably tell them, Lindsay, hey, let's sign up for a continuity program at $125 a month and let's get you rolling again. And then you get complete access to me on a regular basis. So I'd probably combat it in that way. But again, I honestly have not had that happen. It's a great question. Jeff asked, are these visits still at their home office? Yes. So at their home, or typically most of the patients that I see for continuity programs, I'm seeing them in their home or their home gym or like an apartment gym or their condo facility gym, whatever it might be. So, but yes, typically at home. Yeah. John asks, for the higher tier model, what if patients are not redeeming all 8 sessions per month? Do you offer rollover to the next month, or does it reset? Do patients ever want refunds or sessions to make up for vacation traveling? Great question, John. All right, so this is how I do it. I think there's multiple ways to do it. This is a great question, though. The majority of people that are signed up for the 8 sessions a month may not use full 8 sessions per month, but I do not roll over visits. I want to basically tell you guys this: like, I'm not a babysitter. If you sign up for the program, set up your 8 sessions with me, and I'll do those for you. I'm always available over phone. I'm always available over text. They've got to be able to have the discipline at least to set up those 8 sessions with me. And typically we do that in person. We'll go through the entire month at the beginning of the month and say, all right, John, what do you feel like are going to be the best days for you to do? What days can you commit to during the week? All right, let's do this day, this day. We'll do Tuesdays and Thursdays at 3 o'clock. Does that sound good? Perfect. And kind of book them out for the entire month so that they get the same time each day during the month. But I do not roll over visits. I did in the beginning, and it just became too much of a headache. And patients, this is so important, John. I want you to understand, and I want you all to understand, that if you roll over visits, a patient in their mind will say to themselves, basically, I can skip this one. It's just going to roll over. I'll skip this one too. It's my brother's in town. Let's just skip this one. It'll roll over to next month. Like, it doesn't create enough accountability. And so for me, having to really create the ultimate accountability for my patients, I had to avoid that. And I was like, I can't roll them over. We can't roll them over. Like, you use your 8 visits or you don't. Okay? But for vacations, I am by no means an a-hole. Like, look, if you're taking a 3-week vacation, I'm very lenient with vacations because honestly, I love vacations. I love to take vacations with my family. I want my patients to stick with me as long as they continue to see the value and continue to be excited about working with me. So typically when a patient goes on vacation and they have a scheduled out vacation, they only pay $125 per visit for the visits that they are able to be seen in that month, but they still have to pay me up front for those visits. So let's say this just happened today. Let's just say a patient is going to be gone for 2 weeks in May, but 2 weeks they'll be there and they want twice a week for 2 weeks. They'll basically pay me for 4 visits. This, like I said, this happened today. They paid me $500 for the month instead of $1,000. And I do know concierge therapists that do still charge for that month, but maybe I'm just a little bit more lenient when it comes to vacations. Just because, honestly, if you've got it planned out, like, I'm not going to charge you. But still, some of you may be asking, well, what about holidays? You're going to have a lot of people that go on vacation. I still have seen that I'm able to at least have a certain income ceiling with this style of practice, even during the holidays. Yeah, it may dip a little bit, but I still have kind of a ceiling that I'm able to achieve by having this type of practice, this style of practice in place. So I hope that answers your question, John. Do you meet them at the gym sometimes? Yes, I do. Quite a bit. Okay, so when it's just strength training, does the rate go down a bit? My rate is $150 for PT, so maybe I go down to $120 a month for strength plan plus 1 visit. So I would go down a little bit. I do go down in my visit, clearly, but I've done that because people are buying into that annual program with me. So that's why it goes down to the $125 a visit. So if they're buying into a continuity program, Kristen, I think that's great. I think that's great to maybe give them a reward for buying into you and buying into your practice and buying into their health. So, do you check in with them throughout the month via text? Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, simple text though, just a simple text. How are things going? Are you doing your exercises? Things like that, just to kind of keep them on their toes. I'll even text patients when I know they're supposed to be doing something. Hey, Charlotte, are you taking that 2-mile walk today? It's Friday. It's a beautiful day. I know you should be outside, lighthearted kind of fun. And I've got, I get all kinds of texts back. I know, I was thinking about you today, and I should. I'm going to get outside because you texted me. So yeah, you do kind of have to help them still be accountable, but by no means am I texting them once a week, Kristen. They may get 1 text from me in a month, but I'll always text them out on those days that I know they should be doing something. So, Lindsay asked, have you ever met them at a CrossFit gym during their CrossFit workout for pointers, tweaks? No. I think that'd be pretty cool, but I don't really see like the CrossFit crowd, but I think that'd be awesome. I think for you, Lindsay, that's a great opportunity. Absolutely. To see them at their CrossFit gym and to travel to different CrossFit gyms and make tweaks, during their workout, after their workout, whatever it may be. I think that's absolutely great. Yeah. Guys, I'm so sorry. I think there's been a few comments saying that it's been going in and out. I'm really, really sorry about that. I hope you guys have been able to hear it. But if there's no other questions, you guys have an awesome night. Have a good rest of the week. I hope you guys found this helpful. Please reach out to me if you've got any questions. I'd love to answer them specifically about your practice. So reach out to me. Send me a message on Facebook and let's chat, all right? You guys have a great night.